And welcome back to another episode of the Convoluted podcast. It's your host, Jesus, aka Tyrant Dominus. Today we have another special guest, the wonderful, illustrious, beautiful Tasha.
Yo, do that again. Do that again.
Okay.
I'll pay you your $20 after this, okay?
So how are you, Tasha? How are you?
I am amazing. I'm glad to be here. I've taken a long podcast break. I don't think we've done No Inner Monologues since probably about 2018, 2019. So I'm back.
Yes. So it's been a while. Yes. If anyone who is listening or watching for the first time here, she is one of our friends from the north. She's been on the show before, so she's been on the show. She is on my personal re-listens. If anyone wants to listen to a fun inebriated episode, there is a 420 episode with Tasha featured in it. It is fun. I highly guarantee you. When you're with your friends, listen to that episode as well. But yeah, she was one of the 4 members of No Inner Monologue. And yes, it's wonderful to talk with you again. It's been a minute and a half or so, but
minute and a half, 20 seconds. Add that, with the timer on. You know what I'm saying? It's been a while. There was a whole pandemic in between it, so I'm glad to see you well. I'm glad to see everybody, healthy, happy. The rest of the guys are good. Manny obviously was on your podcast last week.
Yes.
Week? Was it last week? Yeah.
Some time ago. Last episode.
It's forgettable already.
Not a single fuck was given this
I
day.
told you not to get Manny. I mean, he causes too much trouble. He causes too much trouble, and maybe later on I'll tell you, the story about Manny, the last host and his double life.
Bruh. Ooh, wait, I got it better. Okay. So yeah. For the most part, how's your week been?
My week has been good. It's been busy with work and being happy and excited, spending time with family. Obviously the summer is over. It's in the Great White North. It was really hot. It seemed like the entire world was burning, unfortunately, from Maui all the way up here in Canada to, there's a lot of forest fires going on. Don't want to dampen the mood, but it was a hot summer. Let's say that. So
definitely.
But I'm excited. It's fall now, and we're coming upon almost the holidays soon. It's gonna be Christmas before we know it. Like you blink, and then Christmas happens.
I can't.
Whatever you celebrate, Rosh Hashanah, I don't know. Wait, is that no? I'm pretty sure is that at Christmas?
Maybe you're thinking Hanukkah and Kwanzaa.
No, I am thinking Hanukkah, but I said Rosh Hashanah. But
what's that one?
We're celebrating everything, okay?
Anything and everything.
I know Kwanzaa happens in December. I know Kwanzaa happens. Happy Kwanzaa to all those who celebrate.
In September.
In September, yes.
I have actually a fun story that I got told at work recently. So I have a coworker who has a second job at one of these hardware places. Okay. And he wanted me to share this story. And what and I think you're gonna have a wonderful laugh at this. So he's working at one of those aisles, checking inventory, and he sees a customer, and it's one of those not warehouse stores where they have like those like rafters, so you get people to get the inventory on top. He sees a customer walk up one of the ladders to grab something on top, grabs a hacksaw. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, hacksaw. Like, starts looking at it, starts cutting one of the thick ropes to see how durable it is in the warehouse, and everyone's kind of watching him just because, just like, and he still has a hacksaw, walks outside to it's one of those hardware stores that have like lawnmowers, barbecues outside. He starts sawing at the security, like oh my god, what the belts, those like thick belts they keep on the, he starts sawing that. So he, at that point, they call management. They're like, hey, there's some guy.
What's management gonna do about that?
This is what management did about it. So he goes, him and his manager go out there, just watching him just start sawing at this stuff. And the manager says like, how's everything going? He's like, doing good. Like, goes back in, puts away the hacksaw, buys an axe, and then leaves.
Okay, first of all, I mean, this story is convoluted at best. It's convoluted. I mean, there's so much that goes into it. Like, what is he doing with that hacksaw? That's my first question. Like, really, is it a metaphor for something? Is this deeper than what we realize? X-Files.
Oh wait, wait, that's not working. Fuck. Anyways, so isn't it?
Are you out of your mind?
Sadly, but no. So for the most part, they ended up getting robbed like 2 weeks later because he just came back and just chopped up those things.
He just came with the same axe that he had bought.
Mm-hmm. And then more than likely it was him. With evidence saying like, come on, if you're going to go to a store and preemptively stalk it during daylight hours while all employees are looking at you. He got caught last week, apparently. That's what he told me. But
he got caught.
Like, once they kind of like had security footage of this guy doing this, and then when they saw the
security is what my question is. Where was
there? Is no security. It's a hardware store. There's no security.
But I mean, they sound like they were in the back.
No, it's So yeah,
I saw on the TV.
I don't know. They kind of figured it's gonna happen. In this day and age, it's like every man for themselves at this point.
I know, yeah. I mean, and every man with an axe for themselves.
Exactly.
It's sounding like a little bit out of The Walking Dead, but I mean, look, we don't need to go there. We don't need Daryl Dixon in this conversation, right?
It's not that time yet.
I thought he was Daryl Dixon. I'm telling you right now.
Oh God. But yeah, he wanted me to tell that story. It's just like, it's wild that some people have gone to the extreme of doing this during daylight hours with everyone watching what you're doing. He had that much gusto to like, yeah, I'm planning on stealing this shit and you guys can't really do nothing about it.
Yeah, I mean, isn't it, I think down there at the Walgreens, I think it's the Walgreens, everything is all like, I don't know if it's in I think I saw it for California, and they have they barricaded like pretty much all like the items. They lock all the freezers because people are stealing all this stuff. I mean, I read it in a news story. Might have been great to read that again, but like it's looking like bulletproof cases, and people are still going in there and I guess going to Home Depot and buying axes so they can bring it to the CVS down the street and just hack away.
Exactly. You got to get through it somehow. I can't use my fists.
This is organized crime, Jesus. This is organized crime.
Well, I'm trying to remember. There is down in California. I can be misquoting, so I do apologize. I believe they lowered the felony charge, so you can't get a felony if you steal less than $1,500 and stuff. So as long as you
everybody's just like so what you're telling me is everybody's playing supermarket sweep in the supermarkets in California, because I'm not gonna lie, I would be like, how many baby formulas can I get? I don't have any babies, so
hey, you could resell that shit.
Expensive thing.
You can resell that stuff. Get a pretty penny. $30 a can.
I
Racks
would be
up.
at Costco daily.
Oh,
I'd buy a
God.
membership, get the credit card daily, but I wouldn't use it. It's just a cheaper way to get into Costco. So
There you go.
$1,500 every day. Meet my quota.
There you go. But yeah, that's what happened recently. If you wanted me to tell it, there you go. Happy you guys got to hear that. But yeah, we're gonna be starting with.
Congratulations,
We're going to start with some of the news stories. But before that, everyone, thank you for listening so far. As always, if you want to support the show, don't forget to share this show on social media, Instagram, X, formerly known as Twitter, Threads, all that fun jazz, TikToks, because that's the best way you can share the show. The easiest way to do it, though, is word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best way. Tell a friend, tell a family member, get it out there, force it on them, just like slap it in their face. That's the best way to do it.
Get a rotary phone and call somebody and tell them about this podcast.
Exactly.
If you can find your rotary phone. If you're too young for that, I mean, I'm sorry for you, but if you can find a rotary phone, get to the pay phone and call someone about this podcast.
Exactly. But if you want to help us financially, don't forget you can buy merch at merch.tyrant.dominus.com down in the links below. It helps us run the show a little bit more, but as always, anything helps. But yeah, let's get into some of the news stories. So let's start with the first one that kind of I saw had a sparkle in your eyes. So
there's always a sparkle in my eye.
Okay. Maryland officer suspended after a video shows him getting into the backseat of a patrol vehicle with a woman. So let's read this article. A Maryland police officer was suspended after a bystander recorded a video of him embracing a woman and entering the backseat of his patrol vehicle with her at a public park, officials announced on Tuesdays. Video caught the uniformed Prince George County officer entering his cruiser with a woman at Southlaw Park in Washington, D.C., suburb of, okay, we don't really care where.
They're really telling you coordinates at this point. It will all happen down here. It's here. This is where they had sex.
Yeah, basically. Nelson, who Ocha, I think that's how you pronounce his name. Nelson was recorded. Who recorded the video? The guy who sent in the tip, basically, recorded the video. The officer and the woman were in the backseat for 30 to 40 minutes. Damn, that guy can hold out for a while there.
I mean, is his number on that thing or? Yeah, I mean, call me.
There you go.
30 to 40 minutes. That's pretty good.
So let's see.
But I mean, first of all, is somebody standing there for 30 to 40 minutes just watching them?
So I'm just kind of scrolling the article a little bit. So what it sounds like, so there, from more what I've read on this, just kind of briefly here, it looks like it was at a public park with a children's playground on the other side. So it was a father watching his kids on the playground. So that he was there with his kid, just kind of watching his kids, and he just looked over and saw the cop car and this incident. So he was there just, being with his kids, and he noticed it. And, you kind of do a casual, like, why is the cop still here at that point? That's what made him like, hey, why has he been there for almost an hour?
I mean, you have to really be dedicated to this, like there needs to be a level of dedication to putting away the guy that's trying to get laid. It's just a higher level. I mean,
I did. So apparently he's also
happen all the time. I mean, it's not worth it to go to jail. Okay, this guy just happened to be a cop. He shouldn't really be doing that, right?
During on duty, yeah. Oh, on top of that, I just found out he was also married. So this is a scandalous, a scandalous rendezvous, actually.
Oof.
Yeah, I looked at this like, oh yeah. So yeah, he was like getting some on the side on duty.
I mean, as a bystander, you have a duty to, just mind your own business. But I mean, now you're recording it, and now like when you start recording something, now it's just like there's people in literal danger, and we're recording on our phones. So, and we're not, putting that hand out for aid. We're just recording it to make sure that we have it. And so which one is more important, helping in the minute or helping after the fact? Right.
True.
And so I think it's a real challenge to say that this guy was, doing something to, help society. He wasn't doing it. He was just doing it so he could get clout. Why would you record for so long? Why would you be watching this person for so long? I mean, this is his business, and
that's
nobody
true.
else's.
However, okay,
the cop has responsibility too, like to uphold the law, and the law states that if you I don't know what the law is in the United States, but I know you can't just, do that in Canada on the outside. And I'm sure many people do,
I think also it was within a playground, which is like one of those like things where like you can't do any sexual explicit things, or you'll be considered a oh my god, what is it called? Yeah, pedophile. Yeah, yeah. But there's a you know what I mean. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, it's it would be like indecent exposure, right?
Yeah.
Choose a better place, dude. Like, I'm sure there's a Denny's down the street that would have taken you and your girl.
Exactly.
Look at that
and
shit.
You would have been fine, and you wouldn't have to go anywhere because you would have had breakfast the same day.
Yeah, that I think that's the thing that gets me is like I don't know why he decided to do it. Get a rendezvous with his quote. I'm gonna say his mistress at this point.
It has to be. What else are you gonna call her?
Yeah,
Debbie.
Debbie. The dub Debbie. From here forth, all mistresses should be known as Debbies. So the Debbies. So this Debbie, like, why did you meet up with Debbie at this point during broad daylight at a public park where you could have done at a motel, hotel, just like anywhere, just secret.
Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn. I mean, there's many choices. There's a Motel 6.
He could have done
Quality Inn is great if you really want to, you want something around the $40 level. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. He could have done this could have been under the rug for longer, but he got caught. Yeah. Ah, man, it gets wild sometimes. Sometimes
it's unnecessary though. Like, don't you feel that like that? I mean, as a man and obviously as a woman, like it feels like it was like an unnecessary thing that could possibly happen to somebody. But because that person is such a fuck up that they decided that was the day that they were going to do it. And, sometimes people just play their luck a little too hard, and this guy is going to pay the piper because he's probably divorced by now. I mean, when did this article come out? What, yesterday?
2 weeks ago? A week and a half ago.
Oh, 2 weeks ago? So they're in divorce proceedings already. I mean, Laura Wasser is all over the case.
He's also been suspended too, so yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's been suspended. What a shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, that type of behavior is not, and I think especially over COVID, we hold our police up to a standard that is higher than even some of our own standards. But there's a reason why, is because you guys have guns and we don't. So it's you need to make a judgment call, and if as an officer, you can't be trusted to make a judgment call, then you shouldn't be on the force.
What a great transition to the next story, actually.
Wow. Okay.
The next story.
I'm still doing the transitions.
You're doing great. Look at that. You still got the hang of it. You still got it.
I still got it. Yeah.
So the next transition, continuing on, is a family was rushing to save their dog's life, but was held at gunpoint by police. Apparently a New Mexico family was rushing to try to save their dog's life, was stopped and held at gunpoint by police. News Nation affiliate with KRQE obtained the police video from a traffic stop that still has the family in disbelief. Did the police officers take it too far? So what happened was the neighborhood cat that lured Stella the Labradoodle into traffic in July. I was like, oh my god, our dog just got hit. Tara recalled. She said she was bringing food inside the house for dinner when she realized a speeding car in a neighborhood hit her dog. That's very tragic.
It's horrible.
Yes. So what the family did, what you would do, you just spring into action. Tara holding Stella in the passenger seat while her husband William drove the vehicle. Their teenage son in the back seat. We jumped into the car and started trying to get to the ER as fast as we can to try to save her life. Very understandable.
Okay. But somebody else was speeding, so they decided to speed to the hospital as well and create double the amount of traffic and accidents in this situation. Okay. Makes sense.
So the family drove down 55 through Barrel from their Rio Rancho home towards the nearest 24-hour emergency vet. He spotted the police officer's cruiser. I imagine he was okay. So this is what the father said. I imagine he was going to pull me over for speeding. I pulled over, and he said something to me, and then maybe he would help us get there. I heard of stories of that before. That didn't happen. I've heard stories like that where it's like an emergency happens, a cop will do that. But so police video from the officer's body cam footage shows what happened. Officer Jeremy Narvaez is seen pointing his gun at the father as he shouts, "Driver, step out of the vehicle." The officer continues shouting, commanding at the father, who has his hands in the air. Face away from me, the officer shouts. The video of the officer ordering the father out of at gunpoint, telling him to walk backwards. And he said, "Step back, go back, you go to your left," basically just ordering him. So I'm just kind of scroll through anything where he's like,
I mean, it sounds like a routine police check, but it sounds got a little bit more aggressive than it needed to if we're talking about the body cam footage. That's why it's a good thing that they have body cams now, because I mean, it protects the cop and it protects the people too, because you never know what's going on. However, who's in control? Where does this footage go where because you can manipulate anything. I mean, I was watching this thing and it was like a young Morgan Freeman AI.
Oh god. That is another thing.
It freaked me right out. I was like, no, this is not supposed to happen. And you know what? The young Morgan Freeman looked like, Shawshank Redemption Morgan Freeman. So
yeah,
I was like, wow, didn't really change in the face, but it just made him de-aged him, and they were making videos out of this. And so with technology, you could do anything. So as much as good as the body cam footage is, I want to know where the database is, because whoever has access to that has access to a lot of stuff that they really shouldn't, have access to. You get what I mean?
True. So from I scrolled a little bit more. So apparently there's more footage, because when like early in the last story, everyone has cameras. So once other people were hearing that the family was screaming, our dog's about to die, something along those words, just kept screaming at the officers, "Hey, our dog's about to die." Other bystanders started to "Hey, what are you doing?" and started recording the whole thing. But it's one of those moments, like you said earlier, it's like one of those things where it's like there are situations where before where an officer on duty was doing something scandalous, like inappropriate, and here when we get to this, like what should have been okay, you stop someone for speeding, you may possibly give them a ticket, but it should have been just a situation that should never really have happened in the sense of this level of escalation. Like there was basically a life on the line, and I'm sad to say, as I finished reading, kind of scrolling to the bottom, the puppers did pass away.
Oh man, you could have changed the end of that story. You know that.
True.
You could have changed the end. You could have been like, you know what? All dogs go to heaven, and I would have been like, yeah, that was a great movie. And then we could have laughed it off, but no, Jesus had to turn it.
Hey, we don't tell lies on this show. No lies on this show. We tell the truth, no matter how brutal. But
nobody won. Nobody won in this scenario. Everybody. The dog really got screwed, though.
Oh, definitely. It's disappointing because it's one of those things where you, like you said earlier, like you never know what might happen. Luckily, there is footage, things like that. All three officers who were on the scene are all. One of them got was let go. The other two are suspended. Yeah. And it's disappointing. It's one of those stories where it's like it should never have really happened. It was definitely excessive force and really disappointing. Like this is where
it's. I mean, they talk a lot about, defund the police and this and that. I mean, we need the police to regulate us. I mean, even like I think everybody kind of knows that, and we're realizing it. But I think a lot of it is what we're saying is you got to weed out those bad seeds. There's some bad seeds out there, and we're just letting them in. And it's not only police officers, it's doctors, it's lawyers, it's judges. There's a whole lot of bad seeds out there. We need to be the people to weed them out.
Oh my God. You're just doing transition after transition. We have another one. Look at that. My God. You're just doing it. There's another one. Yeah, perfect transition to this next story. Staying away from the cops. Let's move on to multimillionaires. Multimillionaires out there.
Okay. All right.
So he says,
is his number there though? Jesus, you have to check if his number is there. If he's a multimillionaire, check if his number is there.
Let me see you. I can look him up. He's worth $584 million. So
$584 million.
Yes. How much he's worth?
That's almost worth $1 billion. It's halfway to $1 billion. I haven't done an Austin Powers reference in years, so I mean, we really turned up today, Jesus. I haven't done an Austin Powers thing in years. But yes, let's listen to the five. What is it? $584 million.
Yes, this guy. So. Speaking at the Australian Financial Review's the Property Summit, the property developer and CEO, whose net worth is $584 million, that the country's 3.7 unemployment rate was in fact a problem. Yes, the unemployment right now is really bad everywhere. So not just Australia.
That makes sense. That's the most accurate part of any news story you've said thus far. Oh, it's bad.
So let's see here. I'm gonna share my screen really quick. Give me 1 second, everyone.
Oh, we're sharing.
Okay.
The problem that we've had is that
It's like I've never seen a shared screen before. I'm trying to make it very interesting.
Didn't really want to work
very
so much
exciting
anymore through COVID, and that has had a
Can you hear that?
massive on productivity. Tradies.
Wait, is it low for you or is it me?
Have definitely pulled back on productivity.
No, I can't hear it.
I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided that they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. Tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. They have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years.
And
we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40-50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind
You good?
people that they work for the
Yeah.
employer, not the other way around. There's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People.
Okay, so give me 1 second, everyone. So what it sounds like he's saying is like during COVID, everyone was getting basically lazy, getting paid to do nothing. And now that some of them are in the workforce, some of the employees now feel privileged, and the employer should be should be more than happy to have employees work for them, and not the other way around, where employees should be enjoying to work for a company. The company should be happy that they have employees. So, and I can see some level of that, but like for the most part, we live now in a day and age where you can find employment anywhere at any time. We don't live where you would work at the same company for 10, 15, 20 years anymore. You can still do that, but we now have the ability to diversify our job portfolio. And that's saying to me where I just found out I'm about to hit 15 years at my job. So that's saying something.
Congratulations.
I'm not happy about that, but it's still...
Not happy. I mean, it was like a slow brag. It was almost there.
I have a roof over my head. I'm happy about that. About that. Yeah. But yeah, him kind of blaming the employees to have this level of like privilege, like I can see that. I've talked about on the show that in the last 3 years for my team, I've gone through 60 new hires in 3 years. It's a mix of outside circumstances. I understand that. And then there's some people who are just not good workers. I've been very fortunate to have good people come to work for me, but their work ethic was not that great. I'll be honest. They were not that great. But that still doesn't there's definitely a lot of people who have been taking advantage during COVID too. I'll be honest, when 4 of my buddies were getting paid a little bit more than I was during the pandemic to just sit around at home while I was still working 6-7 days a week. And I'm like, damn, I wish I got to enjoy that. But
it sounds like a nice life.
It was for 2 years until they lost their benefits. Now they're having to go back to the workforce, which some people, I think it finally, like yourself, I think when we were talking before on the before we started recording, a lot of people took COVID differently. Definitely, some people became a little bit recluse. Some people just wanted to get out more. People definitely changed in those 2 to 3 years. Definitely.
Yeah. But that is a result of, the last 2 type of stories that we've actually been doing, right? I mean, held at gunpoint for what, a dog? And then, even the first one with the cheating. The way I see it under 2 hats, because as you are aware that I'm a human resources professional, so I deal a lot with recruitment. My specialty is training and development. I do it in Canada, so it's we have different laws over it than in the United States. Very similar outlooks on how we run businesses, but a little bit different in the way the law works, because your laws are by state. It's just, it is by province sometimes, but it's pretty much Canada-wide, right?
Okay.
So if we're looking at the state of the way employers are looking at their employees, in anything from satisfaction to, making them have higher productivity. There needs to be some sort of motivation in order to do that. If you're not motivating people, if you think of the sense of, okay, we have a new hire here. What are you doing for that new hire that's different than any other company? I mean, that would be the question. Because if you're providing them a lot more opportunities to learn and a career path, they're probably going to stay with you than stay with somebody that's saying, hey, you're here for the next minute, but I'm waiting for the next person to come through the door. That's going to come after you and take your spot because you're probably not even going to last here anyway. And that's what the cycle that we're going on is that there needs to be some sort of more motivation for these employees to be able to even stay and do their work. I mean, you've been at your job for 15 years. There must be something that's keeping you there, whether it be the people, the culture, you have a good work ethic and it matches the company. Nobody puts themselves in a situation that, I mean, I don't know of anybody that's put himself in a bad situation almost immediately. Some people have, but like as in a work and like, I mean, you go through an interview, so you must, and they ask you questions like, what do you know about this company? Maybe people like you and I that have been, working, we haven't done interviews in a very, very long time. So if we go back into the workforce, it's going to be even tougher for us because now, on your resume, there needs to be your picture. It didn't even matter back in the day. You could barely write 2 sentences on your resume and you would get the job. It wasn't as hard as it is now. I mean, we have like one post. We have multiple posts for multiple positions, but we have one post, and in like 24 hours, over like 400 people apply to this one job.
Damn.
And
okay.
It's people are so desperate for that motivation, and that's why I keep leading it back to that. They're desperate to have a place that actually will believe them when they say, I want to be here to work, right? I don't think a lot of employers are saying, well, we believe you. Okay, now you could work from home for 2 or 3 or 4 days, right? Or work remotely for the rest of the days. The employer doesn't trust the employee at this point because the employee has no motivation to stay anywhere. They just want to go out and, they want jobs where they don't have to do a lot but get paid a lot to do it. And so it's unfortunate because the reality is for all of us, doesn't work that way. The employer always kind of has you by the balls, right? Like they have you by the balls. And then there's, you stand up and say, hey, I'm not taking this. I'm leaving this place. Then you have to go start somewhere new where you're going to meet Sally and, Joan and all these, new people that you have to be friends with. That's exhausting in itself. And that you have to coexist with as coworkers and, and then you have to deal with a new boss, and then people get no motivation from that because they don't want to have to play politics every place that they want to go to. And then they end up leaving. And then they started, and it's a right now we're in a kind of, I call it like a broken cycle. Because as much people as we can hire is as much people that decide to leave because there's better opportunities. But are those better opportunities really worth it for your job security? For, people will leave jobs for their pension, right? People will leave jobs because it's just better for their retirement. And so there's almost like a no holds barred kind of fight between employers and employees because they're like, who has the power? And the reality is we both have the power because like just as quick as I can come as an employee, I can leave.
Exactly. I think
and the employer's like, well, just as much as I'm going to pay you just as little. Well, what are you going to say about that? Well, what are you going to say about that? And then, we have a Jerry Springer show. God rest his soul.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
like, yeah. So That's the way I see it.
No, and I get, and you actually put it out perfectly out there. Both employers and employees both have some hearsay when it comes to what's expected of them to what they can offer. Like, I can't provide you 150% of work productivity, whatever he was saying, when I'm only a single person who can provide you with 100, and that's being generous, because not everyone can work at 100% every day. Everyone has an off day and things like that, and vice versa.
That's an expectation. Sorry to interrupt, but that's an expectation. I need 100% of you at all times. That's why in Canada right now, and I know it's around the world, and obviously COVID exacerbated it, was the mental health crisis right now. I mean, there's a lot of people that are struggling. There's a lot of people that are just put themselves all into their work. They've been home for 3 years. They have to now go back 5 days a week, some of them. And now, how am I going to take care of my kids? How am I going to, feed the dog? How am I going to, pay the bills and pay the rent, because everything is going up, and it's everywhere. It's not just, in one country, it's everywhere. And I think that once you get to those levels, you're going to struggle with your mental health. And then you have to, at that point, rely on the employer to help you with that. And so that's why I'm saying it's a no holds bar. It's a Undertaker versus Mankind kind of match. You know what I'm saying?
They're just at each other.
You're getting thrown off the cage, everything.
Got him. I like I said, you're right. There's really no reals, but what he says, like, just kind of tossing your from what I gathered, just with this multimillionaire says, trimming the quote fat, not gonna really, you're just gonna create more unemployment. Like right now, I think it was like a few weeks ago, we were talking about how, since the housing what was it, policies that were giving some renters the ability to pay their rent stuff was being done for the last month. It was going to increase in California their homelessness by another 12%, if I'm misquoting that. So it's just creating more struggle for the individuals, and then adding this level of thought of, like, you should just be cutting people from their jobs who aren't meeting, quote, the expectations. It's just creating more chaos.
Yeah, but how can I meet your expectations if you don't allow me time to, again, I deal with training and development. I'm a new hire. You think that I'm going to pick up what your job is in 1 week?
That's the other thing.
That's not even humanly possible to even do that. So
that's exactly true. That's interesting, because I don't know how it was for you, but when I got hired at the job I am, I took on multiple positions in different parts of the company, but I was always roughly given a couple weeks to learn the position for the most part. I had someone to shadow, but in more recent years, it feels like you're supposed to learn everything within a week and know it within a week. And for at least my team, and when we get hires, I'm like, no, I'm gonna give them 3 to 4 weeks, because if they can't pick it up then like, we can only do so much with them, because at least after a month, you should have some understanding, for the basic understanding. It took me.
But let me just, I just want to challenge you
Go
on
for
this, okay?
This is fun. Okay.
So if I gave you a book, a children's book, and it was in French,
Okay.
I assume you don't know French.
No, not that much.
Right? That's why I didn't use Spanish.
You assume I speak Spanish? Okay.
Okay, I assume, yeah. Am I assuming? No. But, I mean, a lot of the U.S., that's what you learn, right? So I'm going to throw the French thing at you, okay?
Go for it. Yep.
I give you a book. It's a children's book, maybe has a few words, and I give it to you, and I want you to learn it and memorize it. How long do you think it's going to take you to do that?
Personally, let's see, children's book, just a wait, what are we talking about? Are we talking like a light novel or like a
Just
5-year-old?
just let me like a little a Dr. Seuss book. I'll put it all in French for you.
A French Dr. Seuss book. If I put in a couple hours a day, logistically, a week,
A week, right?
a week. Yeah,
And that's you,
me
right?
personally. Yeah.
Okay, so what if somebody that, comes on your team that you don't know has a learning disability because you can't ask them, and you give them that same book, and then they don't learn it, they can't learn it in the end, and they tell you, I don't understand. Do you give up on that person? Most might, right? They can't understand the Dr. Seuss book in French. I can't have them. But we're not giving people the ample amount of time to actually use their brain and learn. Because we as employers, I'll use we as the employer because,
Yeah.
that's the HR hat. We're on that deadline, but let's now take that hat off and I'll take the Tasha hat. You need to recognize that not everybody learns at the same pace.
Exactly.
And as a training development professional, you start to understand and break it down for people and how they learn, because people learn in different ways. Some people, let's say, they have that photogenic memory. Some people are more, I need a book. Some people need somebody in front of them to literally dictate things. There's many different ways and styles to learn. So if you're going to have an orientation with one of your people or whatever like that, and give them, 4 weeks to learn that book, you need to give them some help to actually learn that book, because whoever is the manager needs to step up their game. So those are the type of things and that's motivation, right? We have to motivate people in order to do things now. It's just the way it is. I'm an 80s child. I was born in the 80s. We were, a group of people in that 80s that understood work ethic. And unfortunately, nowadays we have a lot of kids that don't understand work ethic. And so they're just on to the next one. And that's not going to get you. If you have, I'll tell you, if somebody is applying for a job and I have 2 resumes, and one resume has somebody like yourself, Jesus, that has 15 years experience at one company, and I have this other, person that gets a new job every year, which one do you think I'm going to pick?
I'm going
Right?
to, yeah.
I'm going to pick the one that has already shown loyalty, right? Like 15 years is loyalty. Your 15 years, I don't know what happened to you in that 15 years. I just know I'm going to choose you to have an interview with, because you can make a choice, right? And you have a choice. So, when we're talking about onboarding and all that stuff, and I could talk about this thing for hours, but it's my job. I do it every day, but we have to be smart about how we're trying to motivate the people that we have, on our teams. And it's not only on the manager, that I'll tell you, but it's also on the employer. It's also on the employee. Like, the employer needs to give people a work-life balance that's proper, right? That's something, and everybody's work-life balance is different. Some people go to the gym, but they want to go to the gym in the morning at 8:00 in the morning. And so that's why they pick jobs that maybe are more remote, so they can go to the gym. And so if the employer can't be accommodating on that end, and the employee's like, well, screw you, I want to do what I want, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that. Well, who's going to pay you with that type of attitude?
Exactly. And I think, kind of closing this whole thing, because you did a wonderful job explaining that. And I think the biggest key word from this entire thing is motivation. There can be a lack of, but there can be a chance to provide it. It can work both ways, and it can be used for or against someone. And I think that's the best way And now I have an idea.
Look at you making me put my HR hat on. Look at you making me put my HR hat on. I had worked all day today, Jesus.
I'm sorry. It just you can blame the multimillionaire that's blaming all the employees.
Multimillionaire. That guy's the worst.
All right, everyone. So we'll go with that. Let's kind of go back into some wild stories because we got one. Because apparently, a black bear raided a Krispy Kreme delivery van on an Air Force base. Now, how does a black bear get onto an Air Force base? We'll find out.
First of all, okay, let's I want to drill down because let me tell you, these Krispy Kreme donuts are delicious.
Yes.
I don't know what, I mean, there's some form of crack cocaine that they may be injecting it with. I don't know, something very addictive that makes you want to buy a Krispy Kreme donut. But I could see the bear going hard for it, being like smelling it like it's just like it's like a spidey sense or something like that, and then going after the box. Bruh. Now, if you lived in an area where there were bears, why would you bring a Krispy Kreme donut box with you? I mean, you must have known, oh, Susie, should we get that Krispy Kreme donut? Yeah, I really think so, Joe. I really think you should pick it up. Oh, but we're going back to the campsite. Do you wanna meet us there? No, but and that's the story that goes through my head, but it's also the thought process of why would you make it available in an area where you must have been in a remote area. If you're going to a place where are there bears near you?
Not very near, but I live in an area where bears are couple like 50 miles away from here.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah,
because we have bears here, but they're not obviously I live in Toronto in the city. But we go up north. I mean, that's the classic Canadian way to go up and go to the cottage. I don't know why it's British, but it makes sense in my head. But I go camping, and yes, I just want to be clear to the viewers here. I'm looking right at you. Black people do go camping.
There it is. Fact. Black people do go camping. Now.
Yeah, so I mean,
I'm gonna make a shirt that says that. Just black people do go camping.
They do go camping, and it's like me with a thumbs up.
There you go.
I can a shirt. I think. I don't know. But yeah. I mean, I had my own bear encounter. And so I know how dangerous it could be. I mean, the Coles Notes are the story of this. The bear was just fell in love and just started chasing me.
Oh God!
I mean,
right?
And I use love very, very. I mean, the juicy loins were more of probably his appetite. I was just, trying to get away from that. It's my own pitch. It's a new show that I'm trying to get done. Anyway.
Kudos to Plutos.
But, the bear was coming around. You could hear it. And obviously in a campsite, anybody that's been camping, in a campsite, it's super quiet, right? Unless there's some big party bonfire down the road. But it's a super quiet area and you could hear everything. And so I looked out, I was in my tent just lying down. My friend went to the beach. I didn't want to go, I was lounging around. It's camping, right? It's glamping. Sorry, I think I should reiterate because my good friend Addie would say that I do more of a glamping. It's very stylish. I think the last time we brought a Ninja air cooker. It's that type of night. Okay. So, we're glamping. I'm in my little tent and all I see is this, teenage, anytime I say the word teenage, I want to say Ninja Turtle.
If you saw that, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, when I saw that was when I saw Master Shredder. Oh my God. Anyway, but I saw this teenage, black bear.
And it's black bear. Okay.
Immediately you think, where is the mom, right? Where is the mother? Is she around? Because I, used to live in British Columbia, where there's a lot more bears and they're a lot more free roaming. So, I mean, there was one time I was walking and there was one, like, literally, there was like a bench and it was on the other side of the bench. And, you can't go near. The only thing that you have to be afraid of is the mother, right? The baby's okay. It's the mom that you have to be afraid of. So I go and, thinking that, I could outrun. That's the one thing when you're in peril, is that you think that you can do anything. Like, you think that you're
invincible. Yeah.
Yeah, you think you're invincible. Like, I'm like, I'm going to Usain Bolt over this. I'm going to do a OJ Simpson over here. And I mean, I'm talking the football days, not the bad ones. Okay. I'm going full force over here. You think that you could jump leaps and bounds, and you realize, like, you're still in that, like, you're like stuck in like some sort of pose. Anyways, it's coming right at me. I split second thinking. I realize that I have the car keys. And so I turn on the car keys and the bear jets the other way because it got scared.
Okay.
When it runs over to the next campsite. And because these fools decided they were going to just leave the trailer door open, the bear decides to run right in the trailer and ate every damn thing on that in that trailer. It was over for them. It was over. It was done. It was finished.
Damn.
They had to go get more food. It drank the liquor. It did everything. And so you hear all, like, the rangers are like, there's a bear sighting. There's a bear sighting. My friend comes and he's running because he knows, like, again, I'm glamping, okay? Like, first of all, before I actually went to go sit in the car, because that's where I was waiting for him, because I was not getting out of that car with that bear being outside even in the next campsite. But I went to go check on the ninja, because you don't know what this bear is capable of.
You went back for the ninja?
You don't know what this bear is capable of. If it's going to ruin my electronics, I'm not dealing with it. This is glamping, sir. We cannot have this.
Bruh.
It's same old Tash, eh?
God. Oh.
I mean, you gotta look out for number one, right?
Your number one appliance, yes. Your number one appliance.
Oh, I was just like, and I was acting like nothing was happening, but let me tell you, I was shit scared.
I feel you. I could only imagine. You're right. Adrenaline's rushing through you. Those moments. I forget what it is. There's that saying, like, black bears. Is it black bears fight back and brown bears you play dead, or is it black bears play dead, brown bears you run? I forget.
I mean, now I'm concerned because I don't know the answer to this, and
this is why the internet.
Either one in the opposite way, you're dead.
Let me look it up, bro. This is what the internet's for.
Yeah, like, I mean, you're gonna have to look that up. That's not something that we could play with.
Okay, so this is what the U.S. National Park Services say. If a black bear charges and attacks you, fight back with everything you have. Do not play dead. Direct punches, kicks at bear faces, or use any weapons, rocks, branches, bear spray to defend yourself. If it's a grizzly / brown bear,
we did have a bear spray, and it was nearby. But I've never been afraid to use something so bad. I was like, I'm not using, like, it was like the bear was coming. I was like, it's either the keys or the bear spray. And I'm looking at this thing, and when it's all locked up, like, you can't even, like, I didn't know if there was like you had to pop something did you have to pull the lever and then, you just like pull the trigger? And knowing me, I would have pulled the trigger like this, and it would have been right in my face, and then I would have been blind. And then, but let me tell you, I got to make sure that I check on those chicken wings in the ninja.
Oh my God, Tash.
I got to check on the chicken wings in the ninja. You don't want them to burn.
No, I won't disagree with you. You're right.
You don't want those things to burn.
Oh god. So let's see what happened to this one delivery driver with his black bear experience. And so this happened in Alaska.
We didn't even hear about it. I made up the story. I think I put it into perspective for people. So yeah, let's hear what happened to this guy.
So a mama black bear and her cub had their fill of sweets Tuesday morning in Alaska when they climbed into a van delivering Krispy Kreme donuts and devoured several boxes of the freshly baked treats. The van was parked on a joint base down in Elmeldorf, Richardson, which happened as the delivery driver was making his regular stops on the base. He briefly left the van door open, like someone else from another incident.
Sounds like a user error to me. Doesn't it sound like a user error to you?
Yeah. So then apparently the mother bear and her cub went inside the truck and just devoured everything. Then apparently the driver and some of the other officers in the area saw that, heard noise in the dispatch area, looked over, saw the bears, scared them away. But at that point, they have already eaten 20 packages of donuts.
I mean,
hey, they got their fill.
I mean, this all sounds like some user error conspiracy here. I mean, they think that this is a news story. This happens on a daily basis. Somebody comes and always takes your fucking donut, and I mean, you just have to just move on. You know, you just have to move on and just forget about it, right?
Yeah, you have to at that point. It's an accident. It happens.
It was an accident and it happens. But let me tell you, Jesus, if you don't check on the ninja on time, your stuff could be just destroyed. Those are the type of things that we're talking about today.
We're starting. We know where Tash's priority stands. Truly, the ninja is key.
Yeah, the ninja is key. I mean, sorry.
It's perfect. It's perfect. I like the idea in my head where you're in this situation and it's a quick time event, either like one of those like Telltale games where you like go like get the keys, bear spray, and you're like slow like decision.
Yeah, it's
keys,
decision. Yeah.
And then you're just watching this incident, and then it's like stay in car, check on ninja.
Stay in car, check on ninja. And let me tell you, I had to check on those chicken wings.
That were they now? Do you remember, were those chicken wings good or were they burnt?
They were pretty good. I mean, top notch. I mean, for glamping though, like when you glamp, I mean, you have to be an avid glamper. I mean, you have to glam it up. You have to look fabulous while doing everything. That's why when I do go glamping with my best friend, he has to do everything. So, I mean, and he will, tell you from himself, like, don't, burn the chicken wings. So,
you were looking out.
Josh will be upset. So, I mean, when I go glamping, it's not like regular food that I'm bringing. I know I am saying chicken wings, but like it's like I'm doing lobster and shrimp. I think I brought scallops the last time I went. Listen, I feast because it's a vacation for me. Okay, like during COVID there was nothing else to do but do that.
I'm not judging you. I'm not saying anything.
I didn't think you were judging me.
The people will judge. The people will
judge, and they will agree with me that is the only way. So,
if anyone in the comments, leave a comment. Do you agree or disagree? Was the ninja worth it?
Was the ninja worth it? Was it worth it to bring? Yes. I mean, let's not do the survey. I mean, we're just going to insult we're insulting the viewers now. Jesus, like, come on.
Okay, so let's not insult them and let's continue on because you brought up conspiracy and it's been a big topic in the last couple months. Mm-hmm. Because recently at a Mexican Congress held a hearing about UFO featuring proposed alien bodies. Was this at all in the topics of your circles being talked about? Because aliens have been the hot topic for 6-8 weeks or so.
And like, Jesus, you're my man, but I have to say it like this, girl. let me tell you, there's some aliens out there. You know, I mean, I got a video. I'm gonna, pop it up right now. This is the cue to pop it up. I have a video. It was sent to me by a friend of mine, and it was in a park, maybe about 25 minutes from where I live. And there is something in the sky, and the person that told me about this is a true conspiracy believer, like and I'm okay with it because I like that person, right? But the look in this person's eyes when they told me about it, it made me think that it was real, and then they showed me the video, and I was like, anytime you're seeing any video, just like the body cam, you ain't seen nothing. Like, it's barely like even a microscope, like tiny, like you're gonna have to, that's 780, 720p, you have to look at that file.
Why is it always like that?
Saying?
Why is it always
like
that?
It's like, but I mean, it's scary to know that there is life out there and what they're capable of, because it's now they're saying that they're capable of way more than meets the eye. And when I saw that, I mean, I don't think not a person on this planet looked at that picture. I mean, put the picture up, but I mean, they looked at that picture of that alien and said, yeah, no, that's a human being. There's not one person on the planet that said that. That thing was an alien. 150%. Whatever is in Mexico, that was an alien. I'm telling you guys. And, I swear on my ninja that is, that is an alien. And
God,
it's I swear on it, because I mean, we're seeing a lot of flying saucers. I'm watching a little bit too much Unsolved Mysteries. I'm going back in the day, and I'm watching these old Unsolved Mysteries, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? When did this happen? And they're like, Colorado, 1984. And I'm like, bro, I was born in that year. I'm like, yo, this happened. How come I didn't know about this? And I'm watching Unsolved Mysteries from the 90s, right? Like,
damn.
I'm like, yo, how come nobody told us about this? Yo, I mean, John Walsh, I mean, he should have been a little bit more louder when he was talking about these unsolved mysteries.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Because, I mean, and then, like, you watch stuff like The X-Files. I've been, like, kind of, like, going in reverse and trying to, like, figure out these conspiracies, because, I mean, they are conspiracies. But I do believe that there is some sort of alien life on another planet or another universe even. I mean, I believe Thanos does exist. There are, there are things that I am starting to believe, and it brings me back to being a little girl. And I mean, I think of anybody, but let's let the viewers know I love Star Wars more than life itself. So I mean, I'm a Star Wars geek, and I think as a kid to think that or dream that there is another galaxy far, far away was a dream at that. But now, we're seeing this evolve. So it's, on one hand, it's very, frightening to see something like that, and to know, but it's to know that it was hidden from us. We can't handle, we can't handle it, or, what were we going to do? Like, make our own militias? Like, what were we going to do to, like, fight these aliens that are way smarter than us? We all saw War of the Worlds. We all saw it.
Definitely.
And how nasty they were. They were taking our bodies and just using it and just dusting everything up. Sorry, I had to get Jamaican on you there. But they were just dusting everything up,
She's going at it. She's going at it. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. You're right. We're at a point where it's a mix of, like, more recently it's been more your last quote crackpots. It's more because it's been all official government stuff, like the US, the Mexican Congress, things like, it's official things being popped up. It's like, oh, it's more real. And I think also the word conspiracy has been thrown around a lot in negative connotation, because there's a lot of conspiracies that have been proven true, and people forget that. Like, what's a weird one where they were like, where they were using psychedelic drugs to be able to learn how to use mind reading. Like people thought that was a conspiracy. Turned out to be true. Like
Yeah, it turned out to be true. I mean,
and
there was conspiracies about like even like just performing back in the day in the 70s. I don't know if you're old enough to know this movie, but One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, there was conspiracies about lobotomies, and then they never did them, and like, I mean, it's a weird thing to talk about right now, but like there's like a list of conspiracies of all these like weird stuff all this weird stuff happening, and then slowly you're starting to get the proof that it actually did.
Let's see, I'm looking up
the scary thing is that what are humans capable of next? Like, are they even going to tell us that aliens have landed and they're coming to invade us? Like, are they going to just keep it from us? Like are they going to tell us that, there's a mothership, hovering over us? Like,
it's one of those things where I hope at least as far as the alien stuff that's been happening, I'm sadly in the notion where that the government's using it to kind of hide things from like practical things, because I really just want it to be real. I want to see actual aliens in my lifetime, but the cynic in me is like, they're just saying it so they can just divert our attention. It's like a magic trick. Like, pay attention to these aliens, forget this thing over here, all the bad stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean,
and it's like I like yourself do believe that we're not the only ones in this universe, or like we are not the only ones. It might be millions of light years away, but we're not the only ones.
What if you ended up meeting an alien version of yourself? Like, it was an alien, but it was you as an alien, and you ended up meeting them as a human. Would you be friends with the alien?
Oh God, no! Now I can't be friends with myself. I'll be honest. I'll be like, I would just say like, I would say like rough day, and we walk away.
Yeah. For mine, I would be like, I've had enough of your shit. Keep it quiet. Bring back the fucking ninja that you. I mean, it goes in layers. It comes in layers.
But yeah, actually, talking about meeting kind of yourself. Actually, a few years ago, I thought I saw my doppelganger.
Wow.
Because it's a thing where you're supposed to. There's like 2 to 3 other people out there who in the world that are your doppelgangers, and I thought I saw someone who looked exactly like me. It's not impossible. Like, genetically, it's not. We all for the most part have 2 eyes, a nose, and all that, right? Yeah. But even some facial characteristics. So it's not impossible. You still have some differences, but it's like one of those things like, you kind of look like someone I've seen before. And I thought someone mentioned it, and we looked at this person from a distance, and from that distance, it kind of looked like me. I'm like, let's just walk away. We should never.
I would be creeped out. I would be like, oh, let's get out of here. This looks dangerous.
Exactly. But yeah.
Do you have any Krispy Kreme donuts?
We just gotta run.
Gotta get out of here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh god.
But, I mean, they're aliens. I mean, it's just a matter of time. What we really need to worry about is if they're friend or foe. That's it.
That's definitely true.
That's it. That's the only thing that we need to worry about, because if they're friend, we don't have a problem. Hey, come, you guys can come. But if you're killing off everybody, then we're gonna have a Will Smith problem. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go have to get that machine that Ripley used at the end of Aliens 2. You get what I mean?
I do.
I do. One of those to kill the queen. You know what I'm saying? I'm going for the queen. Nobody cares about these soldier aliens. Okay, I'm going for the queen.
She's going to the top. She's going to the top right there.
I'm going to the top. Like, I'm just, and I'm bringing that,
Are you out of your mind?
She's bringing her ninja, guys.
It's like a forklift, but not like a forklift. Like, whatever that machine was, and it was like, she's like, come on. That's what's gonna happen, right? It's
If-
either that or an Independence Day thing, where I'm gonna be. And you know what? The weird thing about it is, in this situation, I actually want to be Jeff Goldblum. So I don't want to be the Will Smith in this situation. I want to be the Goldblum. You can be the Will Smith.
I'll
It's
be the
okay.
Will Smith. I'll be the Will Smith.
So
There we go.
We're going to the spaceship, and we're bringing those cigars.
They-
What do they call them? The fat ladies.
The fat lady. Yep.
We're gonna go to destroy that ship. I don't even care. I don't even.
We got guys. Everyone knows it. So, you guys hear it now. If it happens, me and Tash are signing up. We're going up there for the sake of the human race.
I mean,
She already agreed to it. She has
sign
no.
up for me.
She signed
You
up.
don't
She
need to sign
verbally
up for
said
me.
it on the show. It says we have signed up as the human race representative to go up there.
yeah.
You got to provide us those cigars though.
What kind of food did they have up there? I haven't signed
We'll
up
bring
yet.
the
I don't know
ninja.
what the all-inclusive
We'll bring the
is.
ninja, Tash. We'll bring the ninja. Okay.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, as long as it's an all-inclusive with possibly a ninja, I'd be thrilled.
It's
It's like it's an invite now.
all right, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed our talk. It was fun to talk, catch up with Tash, talk of some of these wild stories, learn some things, like get an idea of how the current space in some of the workplace, some of the craziness of the current cop landscape, and some of the wild stories as far as the space and alien thoughts, because it's been a couple of weird weeks, and I hope it doesn't stop because I need the content, but I hope it doesn't get way worse than it needs to be, because man, it can get way worse. All right.
Get way worse. But if anybody remembers anything that I said today, motivation. You gotta motivate yourself. You gotta motivate yourself, because you can make anything better. Let me tell you, you will have everybody has such power. You gotta make everything better, and and the key is to try and make everything better for yourself and the people around you,
Thank you.
because
There
they'll
you go.
appreciate it.
I
And
agree.
that's my final thought. Again, rest in peace, Jerry. I don't know why Jerry's on my mind today, but I felt like fighting and then making up and running off the stage. I mean, there's a lot of feelings, but I want to thank you so much. I feel like energized, and I feel liberated, because it's been a very long time since I've even picked up a mic. And so I want to thank you so much for inviting me, and anytime. I appreciate it, letting me have an outlet, because obviously I got lots to say.
And we'd love to hear you. And that was wonderful, a pleasure to have you here. Always fun to chat. It's fun to get your input, and I truly miss you guys, and I'm really glad I got the chance to have you. And hopefully this won't be the last. We'll sprinkle in a little Tash here and there if she is available for you guys.
You
So
won't see the last of me. I'll definitely guarantee you won't hear the last of me. I'll record my voice for you and send it to you on an individual basis. You can catch me on anyway. I was gonna say you can catch me on OnlyFans, but cut that one out. I'm not on OnlyFans. That's a joke. That is a joke. Okay. Soon I'm just like, why don't you sign up? No.
So everyone, thank you for listening. If you want to, like I said, share the show on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, word of mouth. Share the show. This is the best way you can help us. And if you want to help us financially, buy merch at merch.tyrantdominus.com. It's one of the best ways you can help us. But as always, thank you for listening or watching. Until next time, see ya.